Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Nico, also known as RiggerM71, and this is Crack.
Okay, so maybe it isn't crack, but to a kid growing up in the early 1980s like I was, it might as well have been. Sure, it was a primitive piece of hardware. The games were blocky and only vaguely resembled their arcade counterparts. The audio effects were barely passable and often reminded us of digitally enhanced fart noises. I mean, let's face it, this thing makes the 8-bit Nintendo look like the Hadron Collider in comparison. But none of that mattered to me. Because this was the machine that started my lifelong addiction.
I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that most of you watching this are far younger than I am. I'm fairly ancient in comparison to the average YouTube user. I'm old, I get it, and I'm cool with it. Maybe you started gaming with an NES or some other console, but I suspect many of you don't remember what things were like back in the day. So let me set the stage.
For a while, places like these were about your only option if you wanted to play some decent games. They were often crowded, and if you were a little guy like I was back then, you'd have some trouble edging your way onto the more popular machines. Quarters were your most important asset, and I'd save as many as I could. Then there was the complicated process of convincing my mom to drive me up there. I practically shit myself when they put an arcade in just a few blocks from my house. I could finally just ride my bike up there and not have to bother her at all.
Still, it wasn't an ideal situation. Things finally improved when I woke up one Christmas to discover an Atari 2600 sitting under the tree. What? You mean I can play video games whenever I want? And I don't even have to leave my bedroom? That was a huge breakthrough. I may have been Mommy's little boy, but from that point forward, my ass belonged to Atari. So for the next several years, I spent the majority of my meager allowance on these things. Every Christmas and birthday, I would ask for a new game. I even kept a folder of notes and high scores. Yeah, check this out. Yeah, I still have the notebook. This thing is over 30 years old and some of the pages are missing. Here's where I kept a list of my cartridges. And here's a brief listing of some of my high scores. Oh yeah, here's the solution to Raiders of the Lost Ark. One of my friends had an Atari magazine containing the solution to the game. He actually dictated it to me over the phone while I wrote the damn thing down. Remember, this was way before internet, so this was the type of shit we had to resort to for walkthroughs and tips. Obviously, things are much easier now. So the next time you're frustrated by the current state of gaming, just reflect on the plight of old guys like me and what it was like dealing with this stuff during the 80s. These days, I'm primarily a PC gamer, but I still have a great affection for the classics of my youth. Maybe I'll do some other videos soon highlighting some of the other systems I've owned over the years. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please feel free to like or subscribe. Also leave a comment below if you have anything interesting to add. Try to be nice or at least constructive. This is, after all, my first video. So I guess that's it for now. Take care and have a good one.